Welcome friends, today we will discuss about ventricular tachycardia. Ventricular tachycardia occurs most commonly in the settings of acute MI, chronic coronary artery disease and cardiomyopathy. It is associated with extensive ventricular disease, impaired left ventricular function and ventricular aneurysm. In these settings, VT may cause hemodynamic compromise or degenerate into ventricular fibrillation. VT is caused by abnormal automaticity or triggered activity in ischemic tissue or by re-entry within scarred ventricular tissue. Patients may complain of palpitation or symptoms of low cardiac output including dyspnea, lightheadedness, and syncope. The ECG shows tachycardia and broad abnormal QRS complexes with a rate of more than 120 per minute. It may be difficult to distinguish VT from SVT with bundle branch block or pre-excitation, that is WPW syndrome, on ECG, but features in favor of VT are listed in box 1625. A 12-lead ECG or electrophysiology study may help establish the diagnosis. When there is doubt, it is safer to manage the problem as VT. Patients recovering from MI sometimes have periods of idioventricular rhythm, that is slow VT, at a rate only slightly above the preceding sinus rate and below 120 per minute, that is idioventricular rhythm or slow VT. These episodes often reflect reperfusion of the infarct territory and may be a good sign. They are usually self-limiting and asymptomatic and do not require treatment. Other forms of sustained VT require treatment and often as an emergency. Here is the ECG shows ventricular tachycardia and there is presence of fusion beat. In ventricular tachycardia, there is independent atrial and ventricular activity. Occasionally, a P wave is conducted to the ventricles through the AV node, producing a normal sinus beat in the middle of the tachycardia, that is a capture beat. More commonly, however, the conducted impulse fuses with an impulse from the tachycardia, that is a fusion beat. This can occur only when there is atrioventricular dissociation and is therefore diagnostic of ventricular tachycardia. Now features more in keeping with ventricular tachycardia: history of myocardial infarction, atrioventricular dissociation, that is pathognomonic, capture or fusion beats, it's also pathognomonic, extreme left axis deviation, very broad QRS complex more than 140 milliseconds, no response to carotid sinus message or intravenous adenosine. Occasionally, VT occurs in patients with otherwise healthy hearts, that is normal heart VT, usually because of abnormal automaticity in the right ventricular outflow tract or one of the fascicles of the left bundle branch. Management: prompt action to restore sinus rhythm is required and should usually be followed by prophylactic therapy. Synchronized DC cardioversion is the treatment of choice if systolic BP is less than 90 mm mercury. If the arrhythmia is well tolerated, intravenous amiodarone may be given as a bolus followed by a continuous infusion. Intravenous lidocaine can be used but may depress left ventricular function, causing hypotension or acute heart failure. Hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia, acidosis, and hypoxia should be corrected if present. Beta blockers are effective at preventing BT by reducing ventricular automaticity. Amiodarone can be added if additional control is needed. Class 1C antiarrhythmic drugs should not be used for prevention of VT in patients with coronary artery disease or heart failure because they depress myocardial function and can increase the likelihood of a dangerous arrhythmia. In patients with poor left ventricular function or where VT is associated with hemodynamic compromise, the use of an implantable cardiac defibrillator is recommended. Rarely, surgery with resection of a ventricular aneurysm or catheter ablation can be used to interrupt the arrhythmia focus or circuit in patients with VT associated with a myocardial infarct scar. The treatment of choice for VT occurring in a normal heart is catheter ablation, which often can be curative. This is the ECG of a ventricular tachycardia. It shows very broad QRS complexes and marked left axis deviation. There are typically very broad QRS complexes and marked left axis deviation. There is also atrioventricular dissociation. Some P waves are visible and others are buried in the QRS complexes. The arrow shows that. Thank you, friends.